I pretty much thought I had iron fucking poisoning because I was shitting blood. And I just went, basically, I just straight to the ambulance. And they tested my blood sugar. My blood sugar was 2.7. 2.7.
And for months and months and months, all I was eating was ribeye steak and water to try to rule out any factors. And over the course of, the year and a half, 2 years I was suffering from this, I was only eating muscle meat. My pain and insomnia getting worse and worse and worse, simply saying, "Oh bro, your body is detoxing." Yeah, when my heart felt like it was going to explode because it was storing iron, I'm sure my body was detoxing.
Firstly, the doctor said, as I said, that I'm gonna die. And they said I would be really lucky to live to like 60. Plus, my kidney looked like it was from a 90-year-old man. That's what the doctor said.
What happened is, I ate some raw meats, some grass-fed, organic lamb kidneys and lamb liver. And I fucking got food poisoning. Yes, Ajonis fanboys, poisoning. Real fucking food poisoning. It does exist, okay? So basically, I ate these kidneys and liver raw. It passed straight through me. I pretty much thought I had iron fucking poisoning because I was shitting blood. And I just went, basically, I just straight to the ambulance. And they tested my blood sugar. My blood sugar was 2.7. 2.7. And I was sitting there thinking, what the fuck? I don't even feel dizzy. I didn't even realize how low my fucking blood sugar was. Mind you, this was a couple days after eating the liver and the kidney. So what happened after that was I basically was just shitting blood for a couple days. And I couldn't hold any meat down. I couldn't eat any meat. I couldn't get any energy from the meat. I couldn't get a glucose spike like I usually do. And I fucked up. I fucked up, guys, and I fucked up bad.
So some of you may know Haleman here. Long story short, he ended up having to become more, I don't want to say fruitarian, but he had to, actually utilize fruits and plants to sustain himself until he could get to a position where he could eat meat again. It's ironic, isn't it?
What I tried is eating the beef leg and the bone marrow inside of the bone. So it was this white substance, and it actually tasted really good. And I ate also chicken bone marrow, which was fine, which is very little quantity-wise in comparison, obviously, because it's a thin animal. But for whatever reason, I got this bacteria called Campylobacter enteritis something. I'll write it in the description. And what I actually got was one of the rarest cases, where more rare than others. People usually don't get this, is that my muscles stopped working. And it took me a month now to actually get fully recovered from it. I couldn't really open the door. I was sort of worried, but only a little bit, because I didn't really take it that serious. And I actually talked to a trainer, and she said that many people got completely paralyzed from it, and some people even die from it because it goes in the heart, and the heart is a muscle and makes the heart stop beating. That I'm really weak, so they brought me to the hospital, and there they checked out that I had 400 milliliters of water around my heart in the Wasserbeutel auf Deutsch. And they did a surgery, took out the water, and I was in the intensive care for 9 days. So those are really bad cases. So in that sense I even got lucky. I couldn't run, couldn't skate because the legs weren't really working. And I watched a video about it. It's just the immune system fighting against the bacteria, and it's in the joints, the muscles, and that's why there's inflammation. It just stops working, sort of. If you're wondering where I've been, I was in the hospital for 2 months, and even though I almost died, that's what the doctor said, I definitely don't regret it. I went through something amazing, really. After over 2 months of not eating, it was 18th of May, I went to a shop. I started eating 2 days before I got to the hospital, and had tons of stuff here, both of my arms. I was just lying there. I couldn't move because my muscles had pretty much died off. There's no words for how just uber traumatic this was. Firstly, the doctor said, as I said, that I'm gonna die, and they said I would be really lucky to live to like 60. Plus my kidney looked like it was from a 90-year-old man. That's what the doctor said, because it was super small. The hole where the forgot what it's called, where everything happens, and my liver was really big because it started producing its own fat, which I suppose is what a lot of the people who supposedly don't eat have. Their body just works like that. That's what I assume anyway. So I hadn't ate, for example, meat for a whole year because I went through a vegetarian and vegan phase, the whole raw vegan, keto, and whatever. I tried a lot of things actually, and it was just so good eating some kind of, some kind of nonsense sausage, but it just felt so good after a year, simply because I hadn't pretty much ate anything. My body was just so malnourished, whatever it's called. The doctors thought that I'm a danger to myself, and they want to send me to some other place where a lot of people are who have anorexia, I guess, and my sister also believed that I'm anorexic. I could understand why, and I understand why they believe that I guess wanted to kill myself because somebody stops eating. But who in the world kills themselves by starving themselves? I've never heard of that. That's too long. You just shoot yourself. So this is overexposed, whatever. So then the judge decided that I should be brought to the psychiatry, and that's where I was for 7 weeks. So I was pretty much over 2 months in the hospital. I'll cut this again. So I did a lot of other things which gave them the reason. The judge decided I definitely got to stay in the psychiatry at least 2 weeks. I was a danger to myself. So
and for months and months and months, all I was eating was ribeye steak and water to try to rule out any factors. And over the course of, the year and a half, 2 years I was suffering from this, I was only eating muscle meat. My pain and insomnia getting worse and worse and worse. Shortly after I came back from MasterChef, I actually went completely raw to remove any issues, eating only beef fat and beef. Very, very strict. That also didn't help. Then I started incorporating dairy, which was when all hell broke loose. Then I had candida, which comes from heavy metal issues, turning into SIFO, also known as SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, even came up into my stomach, had H. pylori in some capacity. So the overall message of this video is going to be that a carnivore diet is very dangerous, specifically due to the high iron content. The raw tards that follow Adonis von der Planets offer no solution. They have no clue what they're talking about. Simply saying, oh bro, your body is detoxing. Yeah, when my heart felt like it was going to explode because it was storing iron, I'm sure my body was detoxing eating that raw meat. Yeah, that's why I had insomnia for weeks at a time. They create this mysticism around a raw diet like it's some secret knowledge, holier than thou, and they're doing something special. Yet they haven't read one research paper in their lives, resulting in no understanding of human metabolism. I guess I shouldn't be insulting the raw tards because they are certainly a step ahead of the grain-fed carnivores who simply said, eat meat and drink water. Yet I had been doing that for almost 2 years at that point, and it wasn't working. I avoided all organ meats. In fact, the digestive issues and insomnia were worse when I was eating only meat. It's actually disgusting. If you go on any Reddit forum or Facebook group, their advice to anyone having issues on the diet is, just eat more fatty meat. Yeah, like eating 2 more pounds of estrogenic soy-fed feedlot meat is going to help my iron overload. I mean, it sure lines the pockets of big agriculture. Eat the meat you like and can afford. Now, keep in mind, I don't have hemochromatosis. This has nothing to do with hemochromatosis. I got tested, nor was my iron saturation indicative of hemochromatosis. My liver was just storing iron. And this is a problem I've observed in many of my clients. And not one of my clients have hemochromatosis. And this is really being brushed under the rug in the context of a carnivore diet. And I think the main reason for that is because it does take a long time to manifest itself. It took me maybe 1.5 years, 2 years of doing an improper carnivore diet for it to happen. So now I can't even eat a lot of liver, the only real natural food source of copper. So I have to start using supplements and it's important to have a balanced diet, and it's even more important to understand nutrition, to not trust these people. All these people are doing, these carnivores, they're not making educational videos like I am. They're not spending hours researching every day. They're using anecdotes and cherry picking and misleading you into their agenda. So by having an agenda to push certain products, certain meat consumption, not only are they lying to you about how to be optimally healthy, they're not informing you about nutrients, vitamins, minerals, elements, fatty acids. They're also hiding things like this from you that I had to figure out on my own. If you go on these Reddit forums and Facebook groups where I'm banned, these people are actively censoring negative stories about the carnivore diet, and this is very bad.
It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
These Facebook groups and these forums are likely going to be taken down at some point in the future because they are actively censoring people that are having problems with the carnivore diet.
It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened.
And we see this with a vegan diet. We see people have issues, but vegans don't usually censor that stuff. They let people talk about it and discuss it. These carnivores are literally just deleting posts, banning people, prohibiting people to participate, and this deplatforming, this censorship of almost like censorship of free speech is something we only see when there's a lot of special interest funding present and where there's an agenda to push. Yeah, when my heart felt like it was going to explode.
You're wrong. Not this time. It never happened.
Alright, y'all know what time it is. Red Pill Vegan. Next.